This is In the Loop, but it's not with Christian Bryant, at least for the next few days. I'm Bianca Ficini. Here's what we have for you in this episode. A lot of you might be watching this now on a streaming device, from our website, or maybe later on YouTube. In other words, many of you are relying on solid internet connection to join us here at Newsy. And that's something a lot of us might be taking for granted. Simple access to the internet for everyday tasks. Many Americans can't reliably afford internet access. And during this pandemic, internet access has become more crucial than ever. The bipartisan infrastructure bill, which passed earlier this year, dedicated about $65 billion to expand high-speed internet across the country. Part of the bill is specifically aimed at helping low-income households pay for internet. So fixing this digital divide may be a bigger priority going forward, but until that aid arrives, many communities will still be struggling. To try and ease the strain in the meantime, national correspondent Axel Turcios takes us to one of these neighborhoods and introduces us to one nonprofit dedicated to making accessible internet a reality.
He scales buildings, spends hours on New York City rooftops. Yet, he's not a superhero, although some might think these efforts are heroic.
The increased capacity of work from home, learning from home, and etc. during the pandemic. So NYC Mesh hopes to be an alternative so people can have more reliable access in various parts of the city.
Scaling a roof is a typical task for Daniel Heredia. Every step he takes, he does with care, handling equipment with precision to allow another New Yorker to get access to high-speed internet. Heredia is a volunteer for NYC Mesh, a nonprofit organization that provides affordable Wi-Fi access to low-income communities in New York City.
This is an example of one antennas we use in the mesh. This will connect to a local neighborhood hub, which in turn has antennas that connect to our supernodes in New York City.
So I'll just leave the door unlocked.
This new member just got her router installed in her Brooklyn apartment.
Well, I decided to email them because my Spectrum bill had gone up $20 in the past year per month for like the same spotty service.
So far, NYC Mesh has provided internet to more than 4,000 New Yorkers, or members. That's what they like to call them. Internet in the city runs from $50 to $110 a month for high-speed internet, a price that many cannot afford.
It's a much more affordable option for internet in New York, and I also like it that it's something that can be offered to people at different income levels.
To fund their services, NYC Mesh charges a flat upfront fee of $240 for equipment, plus a $50 tip for the volunteer, in this case Heredia.
For me, it's important, especially in these community networks, to try to pass along the knowledge to more people. You know, it's awesome that I can do it and a couple other people can do it, but the importance of being a community network is that we are neighbors and we can help each other. It's like
the installation takes about 2 hours. Members are asked for a $20 monthly donation. Heredia says most internet providers still use obsolete technology to distribute their services. That caused many people to experience connection issues at home during quarantine.
NYC Mesh serves to basically give an alternative using completely different technologies that are able to more deal with a lot more people working from home than the typical cable providers.
Heredia became a volunteer after getting the services for himself. To get to the rooftop, sometimes the volunteers even have to climb ladders. And most of the times they're alone. They have to carry heavy equipment up to the rooftops. Daniel Heredia tells me he does as many as 4 installations per week. Daniel, do you ever get scared by going onto rooftops?
Not really. I mean, you know, since I've been doing this since last year, October, you know, I feel like at this point I'm used to the risk and I know how to be safe on the roofs, and, you know, we're just doing this to help the community, so it's important for me to do it.
He says going on top of roofs reminds him of his childhood.
You know, I grew up in Brooklyn in a brownstone similar to this, and, you know, it used to be like for 4th of July or for New Year's, we would go up to the roof and see the fireworks almost year round, just to see any sort of fireworks. So I'm used to being on the roof, so this is just natural to me. Now you know the configuration is complete.
Yeah.
Because it's written in the configuration.
Axel Turcios, Newsy, New York City.